presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
Pitching was the name of the game last night, and it looked like Corey Kluber had the upper hand on Matt Moore. But the Indians' one-run lead evaporated in the 7th inning as the Rays provided more offensive magic in the 8th to put the game on ice. Tonight, Carlos Carrasco returns to the scene of his near no-hitter a year ago. It's all coming up next on Sports Time Ohio. The swaying palm trees in St. Petersburg, Florida. Warm climate, but we head indoors tonight at Tropicana Field as the Cleveland Indians take on the Tampa Bay Rays, trying to even this series up now at a game apiece. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Last night, the Indians continued their theme from a year ago with good starting pitching, but the offense stalled for the Tribe, and they were unable to beat Tampa Bay, falling to the Rays. But Carlos Carrasco will take the ball tonight, and what he accomplished here a year ago was almost very magical.
Boy, what a game he had. He was one strike away from a no-hitter. He had 13 strikeouts in the game and was electric. A great slider. He had the changeup, a moving fastball. So dominant. And it was so unfortunate that the base hit came on an 0-2 pitch. If Jason Kipnis was 6'6", he might have caught that ball. It just got over it. But, I mean, the expression on Carrasco's face last year, I mean, he was happy it was over. He ended up getting the win. He's 2-3 in his career, but 2-0 in this building in his career, and he'll be matched up against left-hander Drew Smyly, who is 2-1 in his career. He came over from the Detroit Tigers, so we'll see if they get another left-hander, if they can score some runs off this guy.
Boy, the Indians have seen their share of lefties already this year. Another tough customer tonight for the Tribe. We'll see if they can fare perhaps a little bit better. We'll be back with the play-by-play coming up shortly, but when we return, we'll go back to the studios with Alan Jensen. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida is the backdrop for Tropicana Field. The Tampa Bay Rays take the turf for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Drew Smyly, left-hander, will get the start for Tampa tonight. And as he begins his warm-up tosses, we'll take a look at Terry Francona's starting lineup tonight. Very similar to the starting 9 he ran out there last night in the series opener. Rajai Davis will lead it off, followed by Jason Kipnis. Francisco Lindor will hit third, then it's Mike Napoli batting cleanup. Carlos Santana hits 5th. Yan Gomes batting 6th, then it's Marlon Byrd, Juan Uribe, and Colin Cowgill who gets the start batting 9th. Well, another left-hander as we go down to Andre Knott. It seems like that's all the Indians have seen since the season began.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Ty Van Berkeley, the hitting coach for the Indians, throws left-handed and actually has been throwing batting practice early to the guys. He says with Smyly, he goes, he's a familiar face, but one of the things they say that's been different with him, he's now bringing the fastball up and using it a little bit more with the changeup, but he's also changed to where he's throwing the ball from, not just over the top guys. So he has changed from the last time we saw him when he was with Detroit.
I thought we were in a dome, Andre. The Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Rays is going to be Drew Smyly. Smyly, in his one start against the Blue Jays, he went 6 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, but he allowed 3 runs. 3 home runs, as a matter of fact. He was due to start against Baltimore on Saturday. He warmed up in that ball game, heated up, got ready to start, and they canceled the game. So this will only be his 2nd start. We remember him from the Detroit Tigers.
Rajai Davis, the former Tiger, to lead it off. And Drew Smyly's first pitch is fouled right back for strike 1. Davis, just 2 out of 17 to start the year. He's drawn 2 walks. And he goes after the second fastball, and that's straight back as well, 0-2 the count. Smyly known here in Tampa as the guy who the Rays got in return for David Price. And Smyly, not one to shy away from it, says, yeah, I understand those are extremely big shoes to try and fill. The 0-2 offering. Breaking ball missed down low.
He has a very good curveball to go with a changeup. He can locate his fastball, and he's not afraid to go upstairs with 2 strikes to go for the punch out.
Swung out and missed. He chased the breaking ball in the dirt. And Smyly starts tonight with a K.
You watch the curveball. He uses both parts of the strike zone, up and down. And there's the curveball. You can expand that zone when you get to 2 strikes, get hitters to chase it. And he swings over the top of it, and he gets a strikeout. That's number 6 on the year for him. But he is a pretty good strikeout pitcher. Last year for Tampa, he had 12 starts. Struck out 77 batters in 66 2/3 innings.
Jason Kipnis looks at a fastball for strike 1. Smyly was originally a 2nd-round pick of the Tigers out of the University of Arkansas back in 2010. Was traded to the Rays at the deadline 2 years ago. That fastball missed in off the plate, and then last season, just trying to stay healthy. He pitched in 12 big league games last year for Tampa, went 5-2 in those 12 games. But this is where baseball is unlike just about any other walk of life. Even though he only pitched in 12 games in the big leagues, he was arbitration eligible. He asked for, and arbitrators agreed, that he got over a $1 million raise.
Good for him. Yeah, he's had a couple of stints on the DL. There's a good
boy, good breaking ball.
Yes, indeed.
Back-to-back strikeouts to start the game.
Let's set the Rays defense behind Smiley tonight. It's Jennings in left, Kiermaier in center, Geyer is in right. Longoria at third, Miller at short, Forsythe is at second, Morrison at first. Casale gets the start tonight behind the plate. And you said he was an Arkansas native, and guess who he tries to pattern part of his pitching style after?
Cliff Lee.
You got it. You would know that.
Mike Winters, crew chief, has the plate tonight. And Smiley with a good fastball at the knees, outside corner for strike one. Francisco Lindor off to a terrific start. Pulls this one towards short. And Miller throws it out. Good stretch by Morrison to secure the throw. And the Indians go in a hurry. The Rays are coming to bat when we come back. Desmond Jennings, Brad Miller in the middle. And it's Brandon Geyer getting the start in right field. Kevin Kiermaier and Kurt Casale behind the plate, batting ninth.
Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher is Carlos Carrasco for the Tribe tonight. His second start. First when he went 5 innings. Had a no decision in that game. He also gave up 3 home runs in that start against Boston.
Logan Forsythe is swing and a miss. 1 for 4 with a key home run last night. Forsythe broke the tie with a 2-run homer in the 8th inning off Corey Kluber that made it a 3-1 Tampa lead.
Yeah, that's the pitch that Kluber would love to have back. 3-2 pitch. First base was open. Threw the fastball and got way too much of the plate. Either a better located fastball or you probably change to a slider.
Carrasco has Forsythe down 0-2. And he tries to flip it to right, but Cowgill is there. 1 away.
And our Indians defense brought to you by Jeep. It'll be Bird in left, Davis in center, Cowgill over in right, Uribe and Lindor on the left side of the infield, Kipnis and Napoli on the right with Gomes doing the catching.
Logan Morrison, left-handed hitter. Kevin Cash has his lineup staggered in such a way that the only 2 hitters that bat from the same side of the plate that will hit back-to-back or the number 9 hitter and then the leadoff man when they roll it over. Otherwise, it's right, left all the way through. At the knees, perfect pitch, can't hit it. Why swing at it?
Well, yeah, he's had a tough time hitting anything in the early going. As Morrison, he's 1 for 21. And that's what happens usually. You get off to a slow start, or you're trying to get hits. These guys start painting the corners. Look at that.
He just shook his head and said, well, what am I supposed to do?
That game I remember last year. Let's check this out on our Nissan pitch tracker. Great slider. When he pitched that near no-hitter last year for 8 2/3, he came out in the first inning of that ball game and had a wicked slider. And it seems like it's on tonight for whatever reason. I don't know if he likes pitching indoors or what. You know, it could be. He's 2-0 in this building. 3 games, but 2 starts.
Sometimes you just get a good feel for a mound, too, and just everything kind of comes into play.
You see home plates right there. It's a comfortable surrounding. Very well could be, because his first pitch of the game was 96.
And the 2-2. Slaps it the other way. That looks like it's going to go foul, and it will. Carrasco in his first start against Boston had a rocky first inning, gave up a 2-run homer in the second, and then settled in, and the next 3 innings really breezed. Swung on and missed. He went fishing and strikes out, 2 down.
Yeah, in his last start here last year, he had 13 strikeouts in that ball game, and you can see the kind of stuff that he was commanding. The good fastball, the slider, that's right there. It just keeps bearing in. He has a 2-seamer going away, and boy, he was just in total command. And the unfortunate thing, when he gave up the base hit, it was an 0-2 count. And, you know, he just had that feeling that it was good enough, but what a start that was. We were all pulling for him, and boy, oh boy, it was awfully close.
You know, looking at that video, there aren't many of those guys that we saw in that video that are
in the lineup.
A, in the lineup, or B, even still on this team for Tampa.
Right. The turnover.
Evan Longoria 2 for 3 last night with a home run. Sky high pop. Kipnis calls for it behind second base, and a 1-2-3 first for Carrasco. No score after 1. go through 11 pitches in the first inning. 9 of them were strikes. Drew Smyly threw 11 pitches in the first inning. 8 of them were strikes. Here's Mike Napoli to lead off the second, and Smyly just misses low and away for ball 1. Napoli went 1 for 4 last night. And the Florida native cuts and misses at the big curveball.
And you'll see how Smiley's going to try and catch those hitters in between. We haven't seen him work in a good changeup yet, but it's right now been a fastball, moving it in and out, and the curveball to this point.
Swung on and missed, and a quick strikeout of Napoli. Third K for Smyly, 1 down here in the second.
Remember, I told you that's the pitch he can elevate when he gets to 2 strikes. He can raise that fastball up, and that's a tough one to get on top of.
Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Early base runners and keep the Rays in the park. Home run ball doing the damage last night for Tampa. In fact, 2-out scoring was really the order of the night.
Well, when you look at Tampa's scoring, they get outscored in the first 6 innings, 24-9 by the opponents. But boy, they get tough when the game gets on the line from the 7th inning on. They are awfully tough. Outscored their opponents 14-3. All 3 of their wins have been comeback wins with homers in about the 8th inning.
Drew Smyly, 0-2 to Santana in the dirt. Ran it in on him.
Jammed him. Smiley, call it, big man.
And he'll make the catch 2 down.
You don't see that too often where the pitcher gets underneath it, calls for it, and catches it.
Yan Gomes will bat with 2 down and the bases empty. He went 2 for 3 with a double last night in the series opener. And as Arquilla in the driver's seat shows you, he's had Drew Smyly's number, going 4 for 8 with a couple of homers and a double. Now the question is, do those numbers translate against this version of Drew Smyly?
I was going to say, Gomes is a good low ball hitter. There's a changeup.
Yep.
Started him off changeup. But Gomes is a good low ball hitter, so maybe he's been able to get to that curveball a little bit better than other hitters. We'll wait and see how he attacks. First pitch changeup. That's what I expect to see, because Gomes will and has been known to chase that fastball belt high.
And he chased that curveball in the dirt. And Smyly quickly works ahead 1-2.
Boy, down, up, down, you know. This one out of the zone. He gets Gomes to chase it. So he can go 1 of 2 ways. He can go with that fastball upstairs, or try and bounce another curveball to see if Yan goes after it.
Game of the curveball, and it's fouled back on play.
He hung that one and got away with it. Sometimes you can do that. This is one that you get away with. That was right there. And you follow it up. But when you're 2 strikes, you're in a little more of a protect mode.
That fastball's ripped to right. And coming in, lost it in the lights, but a backhanded catch by Brandon Guyer to end the inning. I'm not sure he ever saw it, but he felt it go thud right into the webbing of his glove. for Tampa. Corey Dickerson. The Rays DH with 3 homers, 3 driven in. A couple of doubles so far on the year. I had a feeling we were going to see a different Carlos Carrasco tonight than the one we saw in Cleveland, only because that first start of the year, I think every pitcher's a little amped up.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's game 2 of the season. He got pushed back, had an extra day's rest. I just think he was almost too strong in that start against Boston. And because of that, he didn't have the command of the fastball that we're used to seeing from him. And a lot of times I think he was pitching from behind and burned up a lot of energy in some of those early innings.
Well, every first start, it takes a little while to just take a deep breath, relax, and get into the flow of things. And sometimes you're just not around long enough to do it. But he'll settle in. He was a good road pitcher last year anyway. He was much better on the road than he was at home.
Finally agree on a pitch. Carrasco delivers, and the breaking ball just ate him up with it. This thing had a ton of movement. Watch how far this breaks right to left.
Oh boy, that had to be almost 2 feet. It broke the whole width of the plate. That's 17 inches. So.
I mean, Gomes ended up going backhand to catch that. And straightens him up with a good 95-mile-an-hour fastball. But the count now full. And the 3-2 right back to him. And he throws him out, 1 away. Well, Carrasco definitely sharp right out of the gate. With more on the Indians right-hander, here's Andre.
Well, Carlos obviously is comfortable in this ballpark, lives close by, and he's a bit of a guy that collects things and baseball-wise. And from last year, the start that he had here, he's got some really special stuff. Here's our Here Right sounds of the game.
I keep everything that I used that day. My pants, my belt, my glove, the hat, everything. Everything that I did that day, especially the T-shirt we made, the Cookie Monster. I keep one of those. You know, it's just something that I remember, and it's kind of something special for me because I'm from here, and you know, it's something that I remember from my whole life.
Very nice. The Cookie Monster, huh?
Oh, so close to writing his names in the record books.
Yeah, that would have been the first no-hitter since Lenny Barker back in '81 for the Tribe.
Colin Cowgill makes the play in right field, 2 down. Carlos now makes his off-season home with his family in Tarpon Springs, Florida. Which one of the guys on our crew, or is it the home crew, was telling us he's going to Tarpon Springs tomorrow because he doesn't have to work tomorrow.
It's on their crew.
That's right. He's on the home crew.
Yep. High home.
Brad Miller. And like Logan Morrison, he's off to a dreadful start at the plate, just 1 out of 20.
Well, it's hard. They're changing teams, both coming over here from Seattle. You know, so they're getting an opportunity here. Seattle, you know, they cleaned house once they got a new general manager in the offseason.
One ball, 1 strike.
chased a ball in the dirt. Miller wants to kick himself.
Yeah, that was caught in between. I don't want to swing, but the bat went around. Yeah, they were traded for the pitcher that the Rays had last year, Nathan Carnes, who ended up, he had a pretty good year for him here.
He takes the curveball as it misses low and away. 2-2. Fastball bounced to first base. Napoli says, I'll take it myself. And a 1-2-3 inning for Cookie. No score through 2 in Tampa. For the ball game, Jason Kipnis and Francisco Lindor took out Raymond, the Rays mascot. Tonight he came back looking for a little revenge, getting a little workout before. Juan Uribe leading off.
She's picking on a girl.
Yeah, she's training her. She's not picking on her, she was training her. Yeah. Marlon Byrd 0 for 3 last night, swings and misses at a high fastball. And there's the elevated fastball from Smiley that you referred to earlier. Byrd starting out the year 2 out of 13 at the plate. And he's gone on 3 quick ones. 4th strikeout for Smiley. 1 down here in the 3rd.
Well, that's when you have your hands down where Marlins are at. You cannot hit this pitch here. You'd be very lucky to follow it off. That's when you have to take. It's out of the strike zone anyway, but that's the tantalizing pitch to a hitter when you get to 2 strikes, because you see the ball well and you see it coming out of his hand, and by the time you can get around on it, you can't get the barrel head of the bat to it. It's a great pitch for a pitcher.
Juan Uribe looks at a ball down low,
especially when you can throw that changeup down and that slow hook that he has, and it seems like every Tampa pitcher has a changeup.
That'll leave the count 1-1. Now the one thing that I've noticed here in the early going, and again it's only 5 games for the Indians so far, but Rick, with Gomes, Byrd, and Uribe all hitting consecutively in the Indians order, you've got 3 very aggressive swingers. Uribe clobbers one high to center. Kiermaier backpedaling makes the catch. 2 away.
Yeah, you're right. They're more free swingers. They're not going to go up and take a walk.
They can do some damage, but they can also make some quick outs.
You need some guys to get on base. You need some. You need some action on the pads. Is what you need.
Colin Cowgill getting the start tonight. 0 for 5 in limited action so far. Quick strike to the outside corner. Smiley working in a hurry. Cowgill can't help himself. It's 0-2. Got a piece. Count stays 0-2.
Yeah, I just watched Smiley have a little meeting with himself after he threw that breaking ball. I think he wanted it down a little bit more than where it was because he felt he might have got a swing and miss with it if he located it where he wanted it.
That one was blocked in the dirt, so it's 1-2 for Cowgill. Smiley trying to go through the Indians lineup. 9 up, 9 down, first time through. And he does. Registering his 5th strikeout of the night. A pitcher's duel for sure in Tampa tonight. To stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
There's our buddies.
The Ray tank located just to the right of straightaway center field. Brandon Geyer will lead off the bottom of the 3rd for Tampa. He looks at a fastball just outside 1-0. Straighten them up. 2 balls, no strikes. High and foul, and that hit the catwalk in foul ground.
It's still into the seats. I caught that one. Hey, yeah, I was just thinking about those catwalks. We talked about them last night. We did see a ball hit it, and we saw Mike Napoli make a play on it, but it was in foul territory, so it's a dead ball. But that ball hit it again in foul territory, but it ricocheted into the seats.
Swung out and missed. It's 2-2. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He couldn't catch up to it. This was last night. A pop foul. Now Napoli tracks it catches it on the ricochet, but the ball where it hit the ring in foul territory. Thus, it was a dead ball.
That's like you're playing with a kid and it hits the tree and you run over and catch it and you're out. You start arguing with your friends. You're out. No, I'm not.
Now, if the ball had hit that upper ring in fair territory and carried him over into foul ground and he caught it, he would have been out.
Yeah, but you're talking about that yellow line. That's even with the foul pole. But that's so hard from where we sit to tell what's a fair ball and foul if it gets up that high. It doesn't look like you could hit fair territory.
You wouldn't think so. Swung out and missed. Carrasco strikes him out. Number 2 on the night for Carlos. So if the ball that strikes either of the lower 2 catwalks in fair territory, it's a home run because they're beyond the fence.
Right.
But if it hits the upper 2 catwalks in fair territory, it's in play. So if it's caught, you're out. If it drops, you're on your own.
And if it gets stuck up in the roof and it's on one of the 2 catwalks, ground rule double.
2 bases.
we can't get the ball. The game's over. We've got to climb up there.
That was the worst thing when you're a kid. Maybe not so much now because kids have buckets of baseballs, but when we were kids, you were lucky to have 1 or 2. You may have had 1 in reserve, but you're playing in the street. Don't let it roll down into the sewer because then it is game over and everybody goes home. Unless you got somebody really skinny.
Or if you're playing on a schoolyard and you hit it up on the school roof.
Well, yeah.
Then you climb the flagpole and get up there and go get it.
Now the 1-1. Back out of play. We lost a lot of wiffle balls on roofs because they would roll down the roof and then go into the
gutter.
Yeah. Carrasco's 1-2 pitch. Check,
yes,
went around.
He did.
Back-to-back Ks. Number 3 on the night for Carlos, 2 away.
Let's make this our Circle K strikeout. Going to throw him that slider down, and Casale just could not hold up. You see it? And boy, once that ball starts down below your knees, you know it's not going to get any higher. It's going to go south. Excuse me, that was Kiermaier.
Now Casale, who's batting 9th, getting the start behind the plate. That was either a hard slider or a fastball that just had a little bit of run to it. Just foul.
Boy, that was in off the plate, so if he covers that, it's time to go away. When he can turn on that ball in there, that was, if it wasn't on the inside corner, it was in off the plate, it's time to try that slider away.
Two-strike delivery. Got him looking. Oh, baby, did he lock him up. Strikeout number 4 for Carlos Carrasco as he whiffs the side here in the 3rd. by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. On their rehab assignments last night, Michael Brantley doubled and scored. Lonnie Chisenhall 0 for 2. He drove in Michael with that run after he had doubled early in their game at Columbus. Rajai Davis leading off here in the 4th. First time through the order, both pitchers perfect. 5 strikeouts for Smiley, 4 strikeouts for Carrasco. And they both made almost the exact same number of pitches.
I'll tell you what, they're pounding the strike zone. They're pitching ahead of the hitters. They are making it look easy right now.
2 quick strikes on Rajai Davis. Smiley bounced one in there.
Changeup that time.
The changeup has been a new weapon for Smiley that he's kind of unleashed. It's not that he didn't have one in the past, but he's throwing it more. And he said, look, I want to use it more.
But you have to have success with it.
Good pitch right at the bottom part of the zone.
You know, and when they go out there and watch the location. Wow, very bottom part of the zone. When you go out there, you want to have success with a certain pitch when you throw it. You don't want to make mistakes with it. So it takes a while to incorporate it where you get confidence in using it in certain situations, because he's got a great fastball and a good curveball to go with it, and he hung the curveball there.
First hit of the night, and Davis is going to turn this into 2 bags. Slides safely into second, and now he holds his ground as the ball briefly got away from Forsythe. I think what happened was Miller got a piece of this hard hit ball.
Yes.
And so it didn't get to Jennings. It sort of trickled into left field, and once Davis saw that, he just turned and put his head down and got in safely to second.
That was great hustle. I mean, he made that left turn, and he spun that one up there. He hung it. It didn't have the drop to it. It had lateral movement, so it was a hanger, and Rajai took advantage of it. And it was very good hustle to get yourself in scoring position. So second time through, you get the leadoff double. Now let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Only left-handed hitter in the lineup for the Indians tonight. And Smiley steps away before firing one to Kipnis. Now, getting back to Smiley, though, in that changeup, in his career, he's only thrown the changeup about 3% of the time when he's in a start. Kipnis showed bunt, pulled it back. But in his first start this year, he threw it better than 13%. So the number jumped way up.
Once you start facing teams and hitters start getting to know you, you have to add and change and make adjustments. And, you know, this is the big leagues. You got pitching coaches that can maybe show you a different way to grip it, or you have pitchers that can help you teach it a little bit better.
Bloop towards center. That's going to drop. Davis got a late break, but he'll hold at third.
Yeah, he couldn't go anywhere.
And Kipnis is way off first because there was nobody at the bag, so he could go as far as the nearest defender was, and they were trying to maybe force Tampa into making a mistake here defensively. But a smart play in center field by Kiermaier to just run the ball in, kind of hold everybody at bay. Here's our great clip of the game from last night. Francisco Lindor homering in the 4th, the straightaway center field, giving the Indians the lead. A lead they would hold until the bottom of the 7th inning. First and third, nobody out. So often it's the case. It's the second time through the order. What adjustments do the hitters make after they've seen a guy? Lindor bounces one to short. Miller goes to second for one, on to first. No chance at the double play. Lindor clearly beats it down the line, picks up an RBI, and the Indians grab a 1-0 lead. Second RBI on the year for Lindor.
Well, he hits it. He sees he's going to beat it out all the way, getting down the line. So he got down there just a hair under 4. 3.9 seconds down the first baseline from the right side. Very good. Beats out the double play ball, gets himself an RBI, and the Indians will play from in front. Another thing you got to watch out for Smiley, he's got a very good pickoff move. Picked off 4 guys last year, and I remember he only had 12 starts. And he has led the American League in pickoffs with 11 since 2014.
Mike Napoli looks at the ball up and away.
Look at Lindor and Sandy Alomar over there. They're talking about it, trying to see if they can pick something up.
By the way, I asked Napoli about that high school that he attended down at Pembroke Pines, Flanagan High School, that I told you last night had 6,000 students and at one time was the largest high school in Florida. He said, yeah. He goes, there was a whole separate campus just for freshmen.
No kidding.
And he said, I don't remember how many guys came out for the baseball team, but he said it was a lot. He said it was crazy. He said, my high school graduating class had 2,000 people.
That's 2,000.
I said, you probably didn't even know half of them, did you? He said, no, not really.
Well, I don't think he'll be going to a reunion. Wow,
that's a big school now.
Yeah, it sure is. 2,000 in a graduating class.
Lob throw to first.
How many were in yours? About 100?
A little over 200. Two-one pitch. Napoli tees off, hammered to deep left. Jennings looking up, it's off the wall. Lindor racing into third, he'll stop there, and Napoli strolls into second base with a ringing double off the wall and left.
Yeah, Mike Napoli, his first double of the year, and boy, it was a line shot. He had very good extension on this ball, and this second time around is not faring so well for Drew Smiley. This is a line drive. I thought it might have a chance to stay up. It might have been just a little bit off the end as you see Jennings go back. It hits halfway up the wall. It'll send Lindor to third. So still just one out, and they have an opportunity now with the infield back. They're going to get another run or have an opportunity. Put the ball in play.
I was thinking the same thing, Rick. Had he gotten that squarely off the barrel, that thing might have gone on the upper deck here because it looked like it was just a bit off the end and it still hit off the wall.
Yeah, he's a strong man.
So Carlos Santana in an RBI situation here. Pops up the first pitch. This might be trouble though for Tampa. It's caught by the second baseman Forsythe. Tagging, coming home. Lindor, he will score. Might have got spiked by the catcher. And Smiley was unable to back up the throw. Ball got away, and Napoli will be awarded home plate. I was looking at Lindor, didn't really see exactly where the overthrow went to because Lindor came up a little gimpy. It looked like, Rick, when Casale came down trying to make the leaping catch, he landed right on top of Lindor.
Well, Lindor, one of the only guys that would have scored on this with Forsythe going out and making the catch going away. I like the tag. I like the aggressiveness. And the overthrow goes, what, into the seats, and then you get the extra base.
Another look at Lindor as he comes home.
Oh, he landed on his foot.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Landed on his left foot when he was landing, and that throw gets past him and into the dugout. So they have 3 runs in, gives Santana a sacrifice fly, and then an error on the throw from Forsythe, I believe.
Yeah, I think the ball got into the little camera bay, which is just next to the Indians' dugout. But regardless, 2-run score on the play, and the Indians' lead is now 3-0. Santana will pick up an RBI, and the second run scores on the error that was charged to Logan Forsythe. But you know, you've said made this point before. that sometimes good team baseball can help pick a guy up. Santana, not a great at bat. First pitch, you pop one up, you're thinking, oh man. But because of the hustle by Lindor and his speed, he ends up getting an RBI out of that deal. It doesn't feel as bad now.
No, he feels good because he feels like he did his job. It didn't look like a good at bat, but they were playing him deeper. Now, if the right fielder can make that play, which he could not, then I don't know if Lindor tags. But you had the right guy on third base. So you're right. Job well done. You feel good about yourself. Lindor, good hustle. Hope his foot's all right. But they ended up getting a bonus on the overthrow.
Yan Gomes looks, it's up high. Yan hit the ball hard his first time up, sent a liner to right field, and Brandon Guyer made it a defensive catch because I don't think he ever saw the ball.
He lost it in the lights.
They've got these little banks of lights that are kind of clustered together, and if it gets into one of those clusters as an outfielder, you see the lower ones.
And he was running into it. You know, he was coming in to make the play, and then he just kept running it right into the lights. He turned his head and made the catch.
Grounded toward short. Miller throws him out. That will end the inning. But the Indians rally for 3 in the 4th as Francisco Lindor brings home another. Thanks, Al. Mets began the day the lowest scoring team in the National League. But we know they've got tremendous starting pitching, so that should be an interesting matchup this weekend. The Indians starting pitching strong. Mets starting pitching strong. Both offenses trying to feel their way through this early part of the season.
Yeah, we got Cody Anderson and Bartolo Colon to lead that off on Friday night. Then Tomlin and Harvey on Saturday. Kluber and Steven Matz on Sunday.
Looks like the weather is going to be very nice this weekend. Temperature low 60s. No chance of precipitation, at least at this point in the forecast, which is great.
Sounds good.
Thought right back to the screen. I can't remember, Rick. Have we seen Bartolo in person recently? He's been in the National League, it seems like, for a while.
He was in Oakland a couple years ago, a few years back.
Yeah.
I think that's the last time.
One-two pitch. And Forsythe down on strikes. So that gives Carrasco his 5th strikeout of the night. That means he's done that now in 20 straight games.
Yeah, 20 consecutive games. He's had at least 5 strikeouts, and that's the 2nd longest streak behind a guy named Clayton Kershaw, who has, what, 58 now, we decided?
Yeah, he's done it in 58 in a row.
Well, and it's the 2nd longest streak in Indians history behind Big Bob Feller, who has a record of 28 consecutive games. So Carrasco 8 behind him.
How about this number? Mike Bachta looked this up. Clayton Kershaw in his 58-game streak of having at least 5 strikeouts is 36-9 with a 1.81 ERA.
That's why he has 3 Cy Youngs at his young age.
During Carrasco's streak, now granted it's only 19 games coming into tonight, 7-7, 3.37 ERA.
Gonna have to dig deeper for me. I can't give you any answers.
No, it's just, whew, just shows you Kershaw is just kind of on another planet.
Yeah.
Tapped right up the middle, perfectly placed, and now the Rays have their first hit and first base runner of the night. So Logan Morrison aboard with 1 out of the 4th.
There you go. You got the pitchers with the streak, 5 or more strikeouts. And he's in a world of his own. You got Arrieta, a couple of behind Carrasco. Yu Darvish, who hasn't yet to pitch, but I think he's going to be ready by what, to May or maybe early June.
And he's almost lapped the field twice.
Yeah.
That's how far out in front he is, Kershaw.
Well, go ask the hitters and see what they think.
Evan Longoria popped one up on the infield his first time up. Broke his bat. Pops this one shallow right. Cowgill really got a great break on it and makes the catch, 2 down.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season long with radio broadcast, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Missed outside. Corey Dickerson and a comebacker in the 2nd inning. Drives this one pretty well deep left center. Ramirez gets there and makes the catch to end the inning. Excuse me, Marlon Byrd, my bad. Byrd made the catch, ends the inning, and Carlos Carrasco continues to mow him down in Tampa. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. Fifth inning, Marlon Byrd will lead it off for the Indians. And he takes low ball one. Byrd struck out swinging in the third. Hammered foul left side.
Yeah, when they started that second time through the lineup last inning against Drew Smiley, it's that leadoff man got aboard. Davis had a hustle double. They were able to make things happen. That's what you want to see. Get guys on the bases. No matter how you get there, walks, whatever.
They say it's a young man's game, but at 38, Marlon Byrd still looks better than a lot of the guys who are half his age. Chased one downstairs. And that's a half dozen Ks now for Drew Smiley.
Well, 2016 season tickets are still available. Will include 8 different plans, and when you buy a prorated 20-game plan, you'll get up to 12 games for free. Visit Indians.com season tickets for more details.
Juan Uribe, fly to center, his only time up. Down and in, ball one. Upstairs. At the knees, outside corner. Smiley just painted that perfectly for a strike. And Uribe certainly not going to offer at that. Not at this point in the count. 3-1. He can be pretty selective. Oh, he got one that he would love to have another crack at. This is one that was a pretty good spot for him to do some damage with. Payoff pitch, and the changeup misses low, and Uribe patiently takes the walk. This summer, make a difference in Bike to Cure in Velasano, taking place July 29th through the 31st. Every dollar raised advances cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. Team up, get involved at velasano.org. Colin Cowgill with one on, one out here in the 5th inning. Indians leading it 3-0. The mash, but foul. Ooh, just a tad out in front of it. Colin knew as soon as he swung it, he was just a little anxious and wasn't going to be able to keep that one fair. Blocked, but gets away, and Uribe alertly goes to second.
Yeah, you could read that one. He read it very well going into the dirt. It deflects off Casale, and he could take off easily because it goes over toward their dugout, away plenty enough for him to get into scoring position. The second wild pitch of the year for Smiley. Now you change your pattern, boy. You look for line drive, base hit. Runner out there in scoring position.
Chased one upstairs. That's that letter high fastball that Smiley has had success with early going. Another 1-2. Chased it in the dirt. Got a piece of it though, and he'll stay alive. That's one where, as a hitter, you kind of take a huge exhale. It's like, whew.
Well, you got a piece, but sometimes you have to change your swing. I mean, with 2 strikes, he's going to be caught in between. He throws the high fastball by you, or he bounces that curveball you barely get a piece of. You got to wait back and sort of protect it, and just try to hit a line drive and take it the other way. Don't try and pull it. He swings at a ball.
Another high heater. 7th strikeout for Smiley. 2 down.
That's all day long. I mean, Smiley will take this all day long. You're hitting 9th in the lineup, and those are pitches you can't hit. That's a ball. You help him out. You've got to bring him down. You've got to try and put the ball in play.
Rajai Davis doubled and scored in the 4th. Got a chance to drive in a run here. Shortstop Brad Miller converses with Evan Longoria. Davis hit the ball between Longoria and Miller. And we'll see if Miller might cheat a step or 2 over to his right. It's about where Davis hit it the last time. Fouled back over the screen.
The last time up, though, Davis caught himself with a hanging breaking ball. It was the worst curveball that Smiley's thrown tonight. And, you know, it stayed up for him, and he took advantage of it. Came back again, started him off with a high fastball in this at-bat. I know one thing, he hasn't thrown 2 of those pitches. That curveball's been pretty good tonight, and it's been down in the strike zone most of the night.
I think it was Yan Gomes he hung 1-2 and got away with.
Yeah, who fouled it off with 2 strikes. He was down on the count 1-2.
Off the plate, but foul.
The thing of it is, when a guy is throwing the ball pretty well and he makes a mistake, that you have to take advantage of it, because if he's not going to make many,
right,
you know, as a hitter, you hope to put it in play. I mean, it's easier said than done, because you get good pitches at times, and if you don't square it up or at least hit it hard somewhere, you may not get another one in an at-bat, let alone the rest of the night from him.
You know, the thing that I've seen from Smiley tonight that's been most impressive is something that Brian Anderson told us before the game. BA, the television analyst for the Rays, he said he's using all 4 quadrants of the strike zone.
Right.
He's up and in, down and away. You know, I mean, he's hitting all the areas to keep the hitters off balance.
North, south, east, and west, and use 17 inches of that plate. That's the key to pitching. You know, you keep them off balance. You show them 2 levels, and you know the hitter just can't sit on any one thing, even though you're throwing 3 different pitches. But when you're throwing them at different locations, that makes it look like more than one pitch that you have when you can go in and up with it, up and down, up and down.
That's
you can
exactly
see it.
what he's done in this at bat against Davis. Ran it in and tied him up to get his 8th strikeout of the night. Halfway home in St. Pete, Indians lead it 3-0. 5th inning. Carlos Carrasco has struck out 5 in 4 scoreless innings. He's given up 1 hit. It's the only base runner for Tampa. Desmond Jennings will lead it off. Flied out to right his only time up. Got a note from Doug Haydett, who's the sports editor at the Times-Gazette in Ashland, and he heard us talking about the catwalks and the rings, and he was curious. He said, do they have any kind of stats? Like, who's the all-time leader of hitting the catwalks? And of course they do. In 18 seasons, there have been 137 fair balls that have hit the rings in fair territory. 5 times, only 5 times has a ball hit one in fair territory and not come down. John Jaso, David Ortiz, Jason Bay, Carlos Pena, and Jose Canseco.
Okay. It's interesting. 5.
And the all-time catwalk leader is Johnny Gomes.
Oh.
He's hit 9 times in his career.
Now playing overseas somewhere.
Is that where he ended up this year?
He took off. I'm not sure if it's Japan, but it's somewhere.
Not in the majors.
Far way away. It might even be Korea that he went to. Yeah. After spending the end of last year with the Kansas City Royals winning a World Series. We are confirmed it is Japan.
3-1 pitch up and in. Carrasco's walked his first. Leadoff man aboard for Tampa here in the 5th.
Number 13, the shortstop, Brad Miller.
Brad Miller, a ground out his only time up. You know, a lot of times you wonder about a pitcher who's kind of clipping right along, and then you get him out of the stretch for the first time. Well, the Indians got Smiley out of the stretch for the first time in the 4th, and they pounced on him, turned it into 3 runs. But Carrasco always pitches out of the stretch, so once you get a runner on base, it's just a matter of him dealing with the runner.
It used to be that way with Carlos when he was a starter. Back again before he went to the bullpen, and then came out with the stretch. You remember he could be breezing for a few innings, and out of the full windup you get a runner on base, and it was totally different.
Yeah. I'm telling you, for whatever reason, and it's not as simple as, well, one thing did it, but that move to the bullpen changed his career, changed his life maybe.
Well, and manager Kevin Cash for the Rays had a lot to do with it, because he went to bat for Carlos when I think, Terry Francona, he said no, he's going to stay in the bullpen. I'm not going to start him again. It's almost like he wore his welcome out.
Yes, indeed.
And it was the last ditch effort. And this kid came out when he started that game in New York, I believe it was. It was like a different guy. For whatever reason, the light went off, and boy, thank God for the Indians. Thank God for Carlos.
2-0 pitch to center. Davis makes the grab, 1 away. Well, it was Kevin Cash and it was Mickey Callaway. Those were the 2 guys most responsible for getting him that opportunity. He put in the work. It was Carrasco who went to the bullpen, who listened, who worked hard, but it was those 2 guys that had to go to bat for him with the manager.
Right, and the front office, right?
And I think there's a reason why Kevin Cash is so quickly a manager and the youngest manager in baseball. Age has nothing to do with how well he connects. He had to connect with Carrasco. He had to kind of gain his trust and say, listen to me. Because how many coaches do you suppose Carlos has had in his professional career throughout the minors and the major? Why am I going to listen to you? What are you going to tell me that I haven't already heard a million times? Well, Cash found a way to get through.
Get through and make Carlos believe in himself. And then, talk with the other relievers out there for Carrasco that, you pick some brains, and boy, it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you, the patience certainly paid off. And then Cash had a lot to do with it.
I think the biggest thing that he and Mickey did was they made Carrasco believe in himself.
Right. I would agree with that.
Squares to bunt right out front of the plate, goes to second. There's one, and that's all they get. 2 down. They erase the lead runner in the speedy Jennings on a terrific play by Gomes. And Kipnis did a nice job because from where he was at defensively, he had to really hustle to get to second base.
Yeah, it was right out in front of the plate. You know, Gomes pounced on it. If he doesn't get it that quickly, he doesn't go to second base. But, Kipnis got over there. You weren't going to get 2. But you get the lead runner right there. Carrasco hits the ground.
So 2 away now for Kevin Kiermaier. And Kiermaier looks, it's a little low, ball 1. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. That's hit pretty well to center. But Davis, great speed, runs it down to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We've played 5, and the Indians lead it 3-0. Toyota dealers. 4th inning, Francisco Lindor beat out a double play ball, picked up an RBI. Indians grabbed the early lead. Then Santana popped one to shallow right. The second baseman Forsythe made the catch, but Lindor tagged and scored, and the throw went into the seats. Napoli able to come on down as well, and that has been all the scoring. Carrasco working on a 1-hit shutout through 5. Jason Kipnis takes a strike.
Yeah, if you're Drew Smyly right now, you can't afford to give up anything else. You've got to keep it right there and try and keep your team in a ball game and give them a chance. But the way Carrasco's throwing, it's going to be tough.
No balls, 2 strikes, and with that, the Rays go into a shift 3 to the right side of the infield. They leave Longoria on the left. Getting this swung and missed. He thought it was in the dirt. It was not, says umpire Mike McClinsky. And that's 9 strikeouts now for Drew Smyly. Let's go down to Andre Knott, who has a story of Francisco Lindor hosting some special guests tonight.
Yes, very cool moment before the game for Francisco Lindor. He went to high school at Mount Verde, Florida Academy in high school. It's about 2 hours away. So what he did, he brought about 50 tickets tonight and basically brought the entire baseball team and all their coaches, the coaches he had in high school, has them all here tonight. Wanted them to see him play up close.
Very cool. And they have to have good seats. There's not many people here, so they get a chance to come in and sit indoors and watch their, I'm sure, their idol now.
The 0-2. Pops it up sky high. And this is going to be close to the dugout. Over there is Casale, but couldn't kind of find out where he was. He couldn't take his eye off of the ball because in this facility, if you take your eye off it, you might not find it again.
Well, it is. He looked, he peeked right over there, but then right now he's lost. He's not sure how much room he has, but he wouldn't have got it. It hit the top of the dugout.
Yeah. Longoria cuts it off. Low throw, and Morrison can't dig it out, and Lindor will go to second base. So again, Rick, here's an example of Lindor's ability and the dynamic that he brings is perhaps a big difference in this ball game, because you go back to his last at bat. It ends up being a fielder's choice and an RBI. If he doesn't have the kind of speed he has, maybe it's a double play, you get a run, but then the rally fizzles. Instead, not only does you get a run, you stay out of the double play. He ends up, because of his speed, scoring you another run. And now here he gets on base, maybe forced Longoria to get rid of it quicker than he wanted to.
Well, Longoria didn't make a very good throw when he short hopped him. He had time. It was he caught the ball a little off center. You know, so I don't know if he had a good grip, but the throw was low and he didn't get any help from his first baseman Morrison. But in any guard, it is Lindor on second base, which is good scoring position. So you'd like to see him add one right here, take advantage of the mistake, because this is where Tampa starts playing after that 6th inning on. Remember I told you about the scoring. They've been outscored by a lot early, and they do the scoring late, so keep adding on if you can.
Napoli in the hole 0-2, and Smyly sends one letter high, but Napoli not interested.
Yeah, so right now, as of today, with the 3-0 Indians lead, the Rays have been outscored 27-9 in the first 5 innings.
Napoli tries to golf one. He sends one sky high. Kiermaier makes the catch, and Lindor will have to hold. 2 down. Let's go back and look at that previous at bat Lindor. This was the ground ball. Could have been a double play, but look how fast and how determined. Beats it out, picks up the RBI. Then he tags, scores on the throw that went over the head of the catcher. They pick up another run because of that error, and again here. Just to,
well, you see the throw is in the dirt, and he ends up on second base. But it goes to show you, that's your job as a baseball player. The worst thing you have to do is hustle and bust your butt down to first base 4 times if you hit ground balls and put the pressure on the defense. Everybody should do it. I don't care how fast you should run. You shouldn't just jog down there because there's no pressure on a defense. When people have speed, they make guys hurry sometimes, and things like that happen.
Lindor breaks for third. Here's to throw, and Longoria couldn't come up with it. Looked like a pretty good throw by Casale, but it might have gotten there at the same time Lindor did, which is why Longoria couldn't hang on.
Well, you're going to see the stolen base, but you have to make it here. There's 2 outs. You've got Santana up at the plate. He never caught the ball, so he never had a chance to get him. Lindor looking in. Gets his first stolen base of the year. With 2 outs and you're in scoring position, that's when you have to make it. You don't want to get thrown out there.
That's one where the risk reward probably doesn't add up.
Yeah, with his speed, it doesn't pay. But you know what? He's bought 50 tickets and brought his high school kids here. He wants to see him steal a base, which is okay with me.
Santana hammers it foul and almost took out Lindor as Francisco stares in at Carlos.
I'll tell you what, that's scary, because he had to get down in a hurry, man. The elevator to the bottom floor. Watch this. Whew. Yeah, get way over there. Go hide behind Mike Sarbaugh behind that third.
Well, Smiley gets through the 6th, but the Indians still lead it 3-0. Top, bottom of the 6th inning.
That season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Rewards TV code, Santana. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
Kurt Casale going to lead off for Tampa. And he's out in front, pulls it foul. 3 runs, 3 hits for Cleveland. No runs, 1 hit for Tampa. Rays have committed 2 errors tonight. 1 leading directly to an Indians run. Way out in front, boy, Carrasco changing speeds nicely on that breaking ball.
Hit the ball.
You know, you just think back to how far Carrasco's come in a short period of time, from being sent to the bullpen to getting back into the rotation. And then early last year took that line drive that maybe an inch or two either way, it could have been a whole different story for his career.
Yeah, sure could have.
Fielded by Uribe. Throws him out. And he went on to have a very strong season and has emerged as a front of the rotation starter now.
Well, if you remember, it was against the White Sox. Milky Cabrera, he didn't miss a start.
No, he did not.
They gave him a couple extra days. I think it was 7 days. He started again that next game. It was scary when it happened.
Carlos finished in the top 10 in a dozen different pitching categories a year ago.
Well, he has swing and miss stuff. He's got a great slider. Throws in the mid-90s. He's aggressive. He pounds the strike zone. He strikes out a lot, and he doesn't walk many.
He's got, as you said, swing and miss stuff. But tonight is a game where he's been pretty efficient. I mean, he's only sitting at 66 pitches. He has his 5 strikeouts, but
I think he likes the indoors. This must feel like he's pitching at home. I don't mean in the ballpark, but you say he lives down here at Turpin Springs. Yeah. It's you know, he's got that good feeling.
behind one of the few times tonight, 2-1 the count on Forsythe, who has flied out and struck out. Jammed and fouled it back out of play.
Tied him in right into BA, and he made the catch. Nicely done. BA made the catch. I don't know if he caught it cleanly, but I'll tell you what, he ended up with the baseball. I saw it. There it is. Well done.
The 2-2 at the knees, outside corner. Forsythe caught looking. That's a half dozen strikeouts for Carrasco.
Well, this is down at the knees, pretty much an unhittable slider. You know what? Tip your cap right there. Hey, you got me, pal. I'm sorry. I can't hit it. So now if you're a hitter and you got to go up and face him again, you don't let him get to 2 strikes after you see a pitch like that. It was so nasty.
And that's how maybe you can force some efficiency.
Well, yeah, that's how you get early outs, because guys don't want to get to 2 strikes. With Kluber, they don't want to get to 2 strikes because they have some wipeout pitches. We're going to see some more tomorrow in the 1 o'clock game. Salazar's getting the start here against Chris Archer.
The 0-1 pitch coming up to Logan Morrison. I'm thinking of the Crash Davis line in Bull Durham. Stop trying to strike everybody out. Strikeouts are boring. Plus, they're fascist. Mix in some ground balls. They're more democratic.
He flashed on that, huh?
Yeah, I was just thinking about when you said that. We're going to see some more tomorrow. Well, pitching in this series on both sides has been great.
Well,
not what we expected.
Yeah, you usually figure when you're going to face a Tampa ball club, they always have pretty good pitching. And, you know, you're in for it, so you got to match them. Pitch for pitch.
Another 1-2. Swung out and missed. Morrison goes fishing, comes up empty. 7 strikeouts for Carlos Carrasco in 6 one-hit shutout innings. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by Ford, built Ford tough. Carlos Carrasco dealing tonight. And we go to the 7th inning with the Tribe on top 3-0. Yan Gomes, Marlon Byrd, and Juan Uribe due up for the Indians. Gomes hits a hard ground ball right at the shortstop, Brad Miller. Low throw, and this time Morrison backhands it for the out.
Longoria's going to say, hey, you picked his, you didn't pick mine.
Yeah.
You know, another ball in the dirt, but this time he comes up with it. Boy, a first baseman makes a huge difference throughout the course of the year when you can help out your infielders and you don't have to worry about throwing that ball across the infield. So 1 out of 2 so far for Morrison. Nice job. Not an easy thing to do and keep your foot on the base. The ones that do it consistently, you take for granted. But boy, when you don't have a guy that that can do it on a consistent basis, you really, it hurts your team and it hurts your pitching.
A little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes. Marlon Byrd struck out his first 2 times up. Fastball by him, and that's the thing that Brian Anderson told us before the game. He said, you know, I haven't seen a guy in a while that at 92 throws it, and he goes, it looks like the hitters are late on 90.
It's deceiving.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's deceptive. I don't know if they're picking it up or not, but boy, he could throw it by you easy.
This is popped into foul territory near the bullpen, and a nice play by Geyer. He was behind the mound, which actually helped him out. If he's got to go up on that dirt, that increases the difficulty level immensely, but he's able to stay on flat ground.
Yeah, that's part of knowing your home ballpark. I know it's early, but still. Right there, you don't have to worry about any wet surfaces or anything like that. You can just go ahead and go get it. You'll get help from your dugout or from your bullpen down there.
Rick, the other thing I've noticed about Smiley tonight, you mentioned it, the deception. When he takes the ball out of his glove, he doesn't have that huge separation. It's almost like he uses the glove to really hide the ball.
Well, he does. When you come back, that's one reason. When you watch his arm come around, you don't see a whole lot of the baseball. He's a big guy. He turns and watch. By the time you pick it up, it's on you. So that's 92 could look like 96. You know, all it takes is that little split second.
Think about guys who kind of take the ball out of their glove and really separate. That front arm comes forward, the ball goes back.
And you can see it.
With him, it's like he just hides it all the way.
Yes, indeed. That's the deception. Look at that. Upstairs, how many times has he had swing and misses above the belt?
It'd be great to go back and track, because I'll bet there's a ton of them.
I'll bet you there's 7 or 8.
He almost went around, but he held up.
I mean, he has 10 punch-outs today. He's walked only 1.
And that was a Uribe, who doesn't walk a lot.
Right. He walked the guy you would least likely to say he walked. Nice.
Boy, that's a borderline pitch, but Smiley gets his 11th strikeout of the night as the Indians go 1-2-3. Out of the 7th inning, Indians insert Tyler Naquin into the ball game. He goes into center field, and Rajay Davis moves over to left. I believe that's the only changes as we start the bottom of the 7th with Evan Longoria at the plate. Ball 1, it's inside. Naquin played on April the 5th. Has he been in a game since then? April
6th. Pitch hit, and he
Yeah.
started a game. And then that's been it.
Here's a ground ball to Lindor. Napoli stretches for it, 1 down. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Kevin Cash going to the phone. He's calling for the offense because that's what they have done. You talked about it earlier, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've played from behind. All 3 of their wins have come late in the ball game. I think they have 3 home runs in the 8th inning that have given them the lead this year. And you can see they've outscored from the 7th inning on. So right now, let's hope the Indians can keep putting zeros up there because they have a 3-0 lead. And the Rays have only 1 hit to this point.
Corey Dickerson, he's wailing away, comes up empty.
And it's always nice when you can get that leadoff man out. First out, get the first strike. Stop the momentum.
Straighten him up. Here's the 1-1 coming to Corey Dickerson. And boy, that breaking ball just wrapped around the outside edge of the plate. And that's a case where Carrasco has the hitter talking to himself because you got that pitch forces you to have to cover the entire dish, and that's almost impossible.
Well, yeah, you're right. It pretty much is. When pitchers stay on those edges, there it is, right behind you, right down.
Throw to first, and somehow Napoli digs it out. That had to come right out of the jersey of the runner. I don't know how Napoli was able to stay with it.
I don't either, because Gomes couldn't pick it up, and by the time he does, he sees Dickerson going down the line, and that was a tremendous catch by Napoli. Look at Gomes doesn't know. By the time he picks it up, he looks up and thought he had time while the runner was hustling. Napoli goes down, and I don't know if that short hopped him or not. No, it didn't. It was close. But boy, you're right. That runner's coming down. It looked like it came out of his jersey. So give Carrasco his 8th strikeout.
Now Desmond Jennings takes a look. It's up high, ball 1.
There's been 19 strikeouts in this game. 11 by Smiley, 8 by Carrasco.
Carlos, though, has been more efficient. That and the fact that he's only given up 2 base runners.
Right, the walk and the 1 base hit. That was Logan Morrison, who got his 2nd hit of the year. Came in, he was 1 for 21 on the night. He got the base hit, but look at that. That, you talk about consistency. 1, 2, 4 times he's had 13 pitches, a 10-pitch inning, an 11-pitch inning.
Well, this is his 10th pitch of the inning with 2 outs and a chopper to third.
How about that?
Uribe's throw right on the money. Carrasco works a 1-2-3 7th inning, and he has retired 9 in a row. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Eighth inning here in St. Pete at Tropicana Field, and it's time for the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Drew Smyly's night over after 7 innings of work. He gave up just 3 hits, struck out 11.
Yeah, pretty good start by Drew Smyly.
Erasmo Ramirez in now for the Rays.
And here's a guy that has an opportunity to become their 5th starter when they need it. It may be this weekend, Saturday, possibly Sunday. Or they could go down to AAA and call somebody up. And he said it depends on how the bullpen will be used leading up into the weekend.
Ooh, that on a check swing, that nailed the catcher, Casala.
What did it do, hit the knob of the bat?
I think it did, or just.
Because he's shaking his hand. Let's see. I look like he's got him on his arm.
Was it the arm or the knee? I couldn't tell. I
thought Cowgill got hit.
Oh, no, it definitely hit off the bat and shot right down into the kneecap of the catcher. Hit the barrel, or like, maybe around the trademark, just under his hands, because his hand never came off the bat. It would have hit his hand. I'm sure his hand would have come flying off.
They're looking at it. They were going to look at it on video to see if he got hit by a pitch, and they said no.
So Cowgill down on the count 0-2. In the dirt. And he lays off, tough pitch down and in 2-2. That's low, and so Cowgill patiently goes from 0-2 to 3-2. Got a piece of that, stays alive.
Got to send out some birthday wishes tonight, Matty boy. Daryl Murphy out in Louisville watching the ball game.
All right,
Daryl, happy birthday. Watching with Hadley, his granddaughter, taking in the ball game tonight. Happy birthday, Daryl.
Finally she can watch a game where somebody can teach her
some baseball.
About the baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
Daddy's here in Tampa, so he's got babysitting details tonight. Should be home by now. You're missing a good game, Daryl.
Sure, he got the VCR set.
He's going to watch it once he gets little pumpkin to bed, which will be about 2 or 3 in the morning.
Wonder if anybody still actually owns and uses a VCR.
Probably.
There's got to be somebody out there that still uses one, right?
Yeah.
Murph says he still has one, so there we go. Louisville never lets us down. The 3-2. Strike 3 call.
Well, kids tickets start at just $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Tickets are located in the family deck at Progressive Field, home to the expanded kids clubhouse, and kids tickets are only available at Indians.com.
Top of the order, Rajay Davis, and looks at ball one in the dirt. And he yanks one toward left field, and it will be caught. Nice jump by Desmond Jennings to run it down. And there are 2 away. April in Ohio continues tomorrow afternoon here in Tampa. It's a day game. Indians and Rays wrap it off. Indians Live with Alan Jensen will start us at 12:30. First pitch at 1 right here on Sports Time Ohio. April in the OHIO presented by Meyer. Now Jason Kipnis 1 out of 3 on the night. Takes a look, it's low. Erasmo Ramirez. Kipnis crushes one. Deep right field. Geyer looking up, waving goodbye. Jason Kipnis' first home run of the year is a moonshot into deep right field, making it a 4-0 Indians lead.
Yeah, he liked that swing. Finally got to see a right-hander. And the ball coming into him a little bit, and he gave it a ride to right field. Home run number 1 for Kipnis. Little cutter or slider. Down and in. Loves it down, and boy, he gave it a ride. So a home run for Kipnis. They add on. They make it a 4-0 ball game. And that's a fun trot around the bases. Get that first one. Smoke that ball.
Now Francisco Lindor has scored a run and driven one in tonight. Also has a stolen base. That's low. 2 balls and a strike. Foul deep over the top of the Rays bullpen and into the crowd. Lindor might have caught Casale on the backswing there, so the umpire giving him a little extra time.
Well, we see that a lot nowadays. A lot more so than we used to.
Is that
the
because
follow through of the
deep?
swings? Well, that's one, and you can see the follow through. Man, that caught him on the side of the mask,
Yeah.
But yeah, they let go with that one hand and they follow through in that extended thing, and the catcher sits so close. Yeah, they get. That's why they have to wear helmets under that mask. You see it a lot more than you ever used to.
Lindor strikes out to end the inning. But Jason Kipnis extends the Indians' lead with a solo blast here in the 8th. 4-0. Bottom of the 8th inning. Carlos Carrasco twirling a gem. 8 strikeouts. He's walked 1. He's given up 1 hit, now 2. As Brad Miller has his 2nd hit of the year in 23 at-bats. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And Carrasco came out first time through the order. He was brilliantly efficient and then struck out 3 in a row to end the 3rd. And you just knew at that point, Rick, it was going to be a long night for these Rays hitters.
Well, it's just the same as he was last year. He had more strikeouts last year in that game. He had 13, and he didn't give up hit to the bottom of the 9th inning. But I'll tell you, he's been just as good tonight. A couple of singles, and that has been it. He has dominated this Rays lineup. And as we mentioned, very efficient as well. See, they're starting to swing early now.
Calgill makes the catch. Easy play in shallow right, 1 away. Indians have double barrel action in the pen. But I mean, Carrasco still, he's only at 85 pitches.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you want Carrasco to finish? You want to get some guys some work or what? I mean, this has still been a weird situation here as far as trying to get people in.
Kluber went 110 last night.
And it might have been a couple too long.
Yeah, unfortunately, at the end of the day, that's the way it looked. Swinging a foul into the glove of Gomes by Kevin Kiermaier.
When you prove to a lineup that you can dominate them and get swing and miss stuff like he has, then those hitters say, look, I'm gonna try and get him early. I'm not gonna spot him the strikes. I don't want to bat from behind in the count.
Double play ball to short. Lindor to Kipnis on the first. Close, and Kiermaier with his speed able to just beat it out. If he's right-handed hitter, he's probably out.
Well, he got down the line very well. That's true, but you know, he hit it hard enough to turn the double play. But by the time they get it over there, you can see he does beat it out.
So with 2 down, it'll bring up Kurt Casale. That ball lined to the left center field. This could be trouble if it gets to a wall. It will, and that's going to get the Rays on the board as Kiermaier comes all the way around and scores from first. Second hit of the inning. Kurt Casale with a ringing double drives in his first run of the year.
Well, this is the hardest ball hit off Carlos. It was a fastball down but out over the plate. Casale had a little swinging room, and the hustle from Kiermaier pays off. Could have been a 4-pitch inning if the double play was turned. He drills it to the left field gap. In comes Kiermaier. He will score the lone run so far for the Rays, and here it is late in the ball game, 8th inning. They score.
We go to the top of the order. And again, for the second night in a row, an Indian starter will face the Rays lineup for the 4th time through. Hopefully this works out better for Carrasco than it did for Kluber. Logan Forsythe 0 for 3 has struck out twice. So now 1 for 7 in the first 2 games of the series. with 4 strikeouts. Nice block by Gomes. That ball bounced well in front of the plate.
Yeah, he just went with it. He made that little block look very easy.
Yeah, and that's not luck. When you watch these guys in spring training, you know, do those drills. At the time, you think, boy, this looks really boring to sit there and just block balls in the dirt over and over again. But there's a reason they do it.
Not when it's a slider in the dirt, and when it hits the dirt, it bounces back the other way. You go one way, you know, you've got to. It takes different bounces all the time.
That's why they get those machines with the tires on them, and they work the spin so it looks like a breaking ball coming in, spin it the other way, so they get used to how the ball reacts in the dirt. Now the 2-1. Hit on the ground in the hole, and Lindor can't get there. They're going to wave Casale around. Davis's throw is in time. I believe they got him! Casale will argue as Kevin Cash comes out of the dugout. It looks like the Rays will challenge the play at the plate. The throw from Davis was there in plenty of time. It was a little bit offline. And so Gomes had to go up the first baseline and then come all the way back across the plate.
Well, the umpire's right in the way. We can't see it from that angle. It's unfortunate. But it looked like the ball's in there, and if he tags him on that jersey before he gets the hands around, he's out.
Yeah.
And it looked like from that angle, underneath his arm or his shirt, they get him before that hand comes down. I want to see from this angle which arm tries to hit home plate first. Because Gomes has got it. He's putting it right in front of the plate. He has it there. I'm saying the call stands.
Yeah, I don't think
because I think he caught him right here. I thought he caught him under the armpit on the jersey before the right hand came over to hit the plate.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So we'll see. They'll get a look at it. They'll have their angles. But Gomes did a nice job to come back and put the tag there, and then he held it.
There's not a whole lot Yan could do differently.
No, he couldn't do anything different. That was a nice play, and I'll tell you, you give credit to Rajay, who made a nice. It was a little offline, but he got rid of it in plenty of time. They had to send him.
It's a huge play in the game if this gets overturned. I'll tell you that.
Well, sure it is, because they'll have the tying run come to the plate.
And here is. The decision is upheld.
Yeah, that was good. He knew he had him, and right call. So they stopped that rally. The Rays get on. It has been confirmed.
Well, great play. Davis with the throw. Gomes with an outstanding job to get it, come all the way back across the dish to tag him out. And the Indians will take a 3-1 lead to the 9th. All right, thanks, Al. Here, Jensen, here's the stat I like. Since Terry Francona took over as manager in 2013, when the Indians score 4 or more for the starting pitcher, they're 148-15.
I like those numbers.
That's courtesy of Mike Pacta, who went digging it up. He said, you know, start thinking about it. Last year, that was the problem, getting to 4 runs. When they get to 4, a lot of times it's money in the bank. Last night they tried to win a game 1-0, and that's very, very difficult to do. Kluber made it stand up for 6, but they tied it in the 7th and then blew it open in the 8th. 14 strikeouts tonight for Tampa pitching. Looking back at our keys to the game, brought to you by Mazda. Early base runners, well, it was tough. First time through the order, the Indians didn't get a sniff. Second time through, that's when they cashed in for their 3. And Carrasco has kept the Rays in the park, and for the most part, he's kept them off the bases, with the exception of that last inning. Carlos Santana picked up an RBI in the 4th, get that sac fly. And he's trying to punch one into center, and he will.
A little off the end of the bat, but plays beautifully. Santana gets his first hit.
Snapped an 0 for 11 for Carlos.
Take a look at Davis coming in with the throw. See, he charged it very well, got rid of it quickly. But Gomes able to get that ball and come back and apply the tag. Puts the glove right down on home plate and forces Casale to slide away from him. And then he's got to try and wrap that hand around. And I'm sorry, that's a tough way to go. That was a very nice tag by Yan Gomes. And I like how Davis got to the ball quickly, got rid of it quickly, and that's why the catcher had an opportunity to get it and come back. Ow.
Santana takes off, and it's fouled at the first baseline.
Well, they weren't paying attention. You know, he jumped, and I saw him trying to get that lead, and he was trying to time him, and why not? If they're going to give you a base, they don't think you're going to run. It's a perfect time. He had 1 strike on him. They're not going to throw over, so it's the element of surprise. That's how he had, what did he have, 10 or 11 last year, I think. Santana did. I think he had 11.
That ball goes to the backstop, and Carlos will easily get to second base.
Well, thank you. Now he doesn't even have to.
He had 11 last year.
Yeah.
He was only caught 3 times.
Well, that's what I was. When you're not paying attention to a guy on first base and you're in the deep and you got a 3-run lead, take a chance.
It's ruled a wild pitch.
But they do the favor for him. They put him on second base. So now he's in scoring position, and let's add on.
Second wild pitch of the night for Tampa.
Let's take that run that they just scored and take it right off and put one on your side.
And that one's blocked by Casale. Otherwise, Santana would have been on his way to third. Well, he pulled the string on him. Something fierce. Gets the strikeout. Fourth strikeout already for Ramirez.
I know it. There's 15 total for these Rays pitchers between Smiley and Ramirez.
And now Tyler Naquin gets his first at bat of the night.
First at bat over a week.
Takes down low, ball 1. Naquin had a phenomenal spring to win a job on the club, but the playing time has been non-existent since the season began. Tries to find the hole, and the throw is perfect to retire him to end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. The Indians lead it 4-1. Lumber. Carlos Carrasco brought the lumber with his right arm tonight. Brought the hammer down on this Rays lineup, striking out 8 in 8 innings of work. He gave up just 1 run on 4 hits. Another brilliant outing for the Tribe right-hander. Guy that Tampa has probably seen way too much of, even though they only face him once, twice a year.
Well, he loves pitching in this building because he has been awesome here the last 2 years, I'll tell you that. Now, Cody coming on to try and close this one out. Appearing for the 3rd time. He came in last night's ball game, went a 1/3 of an inning. Had a walk, give up a 2-run home run. It was like 6 days before he pitched, so he gets to come right back in here and try and get the last 3 outs. Safe situation for Allen.
Logan Morrison, Evan Longoria, Corey Dickerson. Same 3 guys he came into the ball game to face last night. Low ball 1.
Hit the ball.
Morrison with a base hit. That came in the 4th inning. That was the first hit allowed by Carrasco and the only hit until the 8th.
There you go.
Smashed to first. What a diving stop by Napoli. And he'll go to the bag himself.
Boy, that's well done. You keep that leadoff man off the base. And I mean, that could have been, look at it. He's off the line, but he dives. He gets down like that catcher squat and he gets back up. And what a nice play to get that first out. Takes a hit away from Morrison. And big out number 1.
He's worked hard to make himself into a very good defensive first baseman.
You see how he gets down there before that pitch is made? He gets back up, almost like a catcher squat, and he comes right back up to. Yes, he did.
Well, you know, you figure, Rick, if starter goes 100 pitches, bullpen goes however many they go, he's doing about 100+ squats a game. Well, that's what I'm saying. Every pitch.
You're able to get out from behind home plate where you don't have to get down like that. Why put the pressure on your knees? Well, that's his comfort zone. That's what gives him a jump on the ball coming off the bat to the infield. You know, different infielders have different things with what they do for timing. Watch Mike Napoli. Gets down, here we go. See how quick those feet were?
Yeah.
I mean, he gets a read off the bat and read it beautifully and made a wonderful play.
Longoria takes, and it's just a little bit outside. 2-2.
It's almost like a timing mechanism when you're a hitter. When you're out there playing defense, you've got to have something to make you relax. And some guys will get up and jump, and you know, infielders are different. Outfielders will get down low in a crouch. It's everybody has their own thing.
Sky high pop, left center. Naquin charging in, gives way to Davis, the left fielder, and there are 2 down. Time now for the Pat O'Brien play of the game. Carlos Santana pops one shallow right. Lindor's at third, Napoli's at second. Lindor tags, he's coming home, he's safe. Throw goes over the catcher, goes out of play, and Napoli is awarded home plate. So the Indians scored 2 on the sac fly by Santana. He gets credited with an RBI, and the error allowed the second run to score. And that was a huge turning point in this game because it went from a 1-0 lead to a 3-0 lead.
On an infield sacrifice fly.
Basically, yeah.
Sacrifice a fly 4.
Yeah, that's right. Corey Dickerson 0 for 3 on the night. Open in, straighten him up. Ground ball up the gut, it gets through. And the Rays keep it alive with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Brings up Desmond Jennings.
Well, that's when they did all their damage last night with 2 outs. They did it tonight in the 8th with 2 outs, and they get a 2-out single here to just give them a pulse or a heartbeat. Indians 1 out away from even the series up.
High pop, and this one's headed toward the catwalk. I think
it's up there.
It hit it. Did it?
No.
Hit it? Never came down, did it? It's up there. I think
it's
stuck.
Up
there.
It's stuck.
Lindor, the sky is falling.
Well, he was deked. He thought he had a beat on it, and he was coming over there, and he ducked out of the way. Watch him. Look at. I don't see it. Look at. Uh-oh. Where is it? Where is it? It stayed up there. Didn't we talk about that tonight?
We sure did.
Add the name to the list.
Well, that's not in fair territory, though.
Oh, that's true. Well, we still got to.
I mean, maybe they keep track of the foul balls, but who cares about those, right?
Oh, I do right now.
Just missed. 1-1.
This building. It really is. I'm sorry.
And a foul right back to the screen. 1-2. Now the 1-2 offering, and a pop-up, foul ground, maybe playable for Napoli. He's to the railing, reaches in, no, just beyond his reach. Uribe and Lindor sharing a laugh over that pop-up that disappeared into the catwalk. Dickerson at first with 2 down. A 1-2 to Jennings. Did he go? They appeal. He did not, says crew chief Mike Winters, who will have the plate tomorrow for the series finale. And the count evens at 2-2.
Yes, sir. Getaway day. 1:10 start. Back to Cleveland for the weekend.
Cody Allen with the 2-2. Popped him up, back behind the plate and into the seats. It's another one where I don't think Yan Gomes ever even saw that ball.
No, you know what? I saw it, but you know what? That catchers really do have a tough time, because if they don't see it go up directly as soon as it's hit, by the time they get that mask off and look up, he can't find it, even though this was well back out of play.
I mean, that's got to literally be like finding a needle in a haystack, because at least the outfielder, the ball's got some trajectory. It's moving. A pop-up's not moving. It's like straight up.
Well, and the outfielders see it off the bat most of the time. The catchers don't.
And the 2-2 is again popped back out of play.
Pretty good job by Jennings staying alive here, making Cody work to get him out.
Allen working with a 3-run lead. Try to notch the save. Again, the 2-2 in the dirt, gets away from Gomes to the on-deck circle, and down to second base goes Dickerson. A little wild pitch, but really that run not any kind of consequence right now for the Indians. The big run is the one on deck. You don't want to see that guy come to the plate. This is the out
you want to get, so you have to. You don't want to walk him here. It's a full count. You want to make him put the ball in play. He's done a nice job of making Cody work to get him out. But Miller, the on-deck hitter, you don't even want to look that way. This is the guy you want to get that's in the batter's box right now.
And a 3-2. Swung on in this. He struck him out with some high heat. And Cody Allen notches his second save. Carlos Carrasco gets his first win. The Indians are back to 500 at 3-3 as they dump Tampa to 3-5 with a 4-1 victory. And now that stat looks like this. Since Terry Francona became manager of the Indians, when the Indians score 4 or more in support of the starting pitcher, they are 149-15. Solid victory for the Indians to bounce back after a tough one last night.
Well, again, Carlos Carrasco set the tempo. He came out and, boy, just another wonderful game here inside at Tropicana Field, and they got 3 runs in that 4th inning, and Carrasco that's all he needed. He went 8 solid. They ended up getting their 4th. Again, only 5 hits. Both teams had 5 hits last night. So not many hits in the ball game for both sides, but the Indians come out, they even the series up. An opportunity tomorrow to win the series on getaway day.
And we'll have the rubber match for you tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern right here on Sports Time Ohio. So for my partner Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for Indians Live. Andre will be joined by Francisco Lynn.